And welcome back to the studio, Chad. So we got a lot to get to, and it's going to be a busy hour. It always is. We always run out of time, and it's just I guess that's the problem with having a live radio show. Oh, Coach Winkler's outside.
Okay.
So you want to do that, and then we'll just flip the segments around.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, we'll just flip the segments around, and we'll let Coach Winkler come in and get settled, and we'll do the BCS stuff in the next segment.
Yeah, okay.
And that
Sounds
way,
good.
if it's needs to be a little bit shorter, it can be. So come on in, Coach. Have a seat. We'll let you get settled in here.
The Wild split a pair of games, I believe, with the Glacier Nationals over the weekend.
Yeah, OT loss on overtime loss on Friday, and then regulation win on Saturday.
The Friday game, it sounded pretty exciting, I guess, from if you were just a neutral fan. Oh, I'm sure if you were a John Tesarek fan, it was tremendously exciting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that game?
Well, you know what? It's from a coaching standpoint, it's an unbelievably frustrating game. I mean, we 85 shots, zone possession wise and puck possession and pucks to the net. I mean, we dominated. It was really kind of a crazy game. I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to their goaltender. I mean, he was the difference, and more than just his play. I've never seen a kid, honestly, who thought he was bigger than the game, and we saw that this weekend. The amount of times he kicked the net off on Friday, and the lack of response from the officiating crew and dealing with it. It was kind of a real crazy deal. I mean, they called the goal back on us because he kicked the net off. They didn't give him penalties for delay of games, where we've had situations earlier in the season where one particular game, Sean slid across to make a save, the net came off. They warned him. There was a scrum in front of the net came off, and they gave Sean a penalty after the warning. And this kid probably kicked the net off 10 to 12 times in the first period alone on Friday, and then the second period he did it. And what was amazing to us was that Sean was in net and didn't kick the net off once at either side. So they were trying to blame it on the net pegs and stuff like that. So it was just kind of a bizarre deal. And the kid wouldn't leave the ice at the end of the periods. He would go and sit on the bench, and on Saturday's game, he'd make a save and throw the puck at our guys or put his glove in their face. And finally at the end of the game, our guys are lining up to do the salute on Saturday, and the kid was sitting on the ice. He wouldn't leave. And I finally looked at him. I said, you're not bigger than the game. Get off the ice. It's time for you to go home. And just kind of a weird deal.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I have not. And again, tip your hat to the kid the way he played. He's a tremendous goalie, but I don't think he has the, I don't think he understands the etiquette of the game. And, I'm a little upset with their coaches for allowing some of the behavior that they did with it. But getting back to the meat and potatoes of Friday, I mean, we'd go down and get 10, 12 shots and then give up a 2-on-1 and they'd score, or give up a breakaway. So, I mean, after Friday's game, a little disappointed in our total effort defensively. When you hold a team to 25 shots, you shouldn't give up 4 goals. And we did. So, that was frustrating. I mean, getting to overtime and we were up 2-0, then we let them get back in the game and actually take the lead. So we had to tie it. So we stole a point from them to get it to overtime, and then to lose the way we did was a little frustrating. And I thought we came out Saturday and played a much better overall game. I never felt threatened by them. I thought defensively we were very good and kept bodies in front of us and played particularly well. So like I said, we took 3 out of 4 points. We should have taken 4 out of 4, and obviously it's again, it's like every week you get back to the drawing board and you figure out what you did the weekend before to move forward.
Can antics or behavior like you were talking about from their goaltender kind of get into the head of your guys in terms of maybe just an annoyance factor where they're not fully concentrating on? I think so. And getting back to Friday again, we scored a goal that they waved off because he kicked the net off. Yeah. Which, that makes it 3-0 at that point in time. And I got a little frustrated with myself and Chris McPhee, who reffed the game, who's a very good ref. I'd take that officiating crew anytime.
I had no problems with anything other than how they didn't address this kid and his stuff. And I think it was new for them too. They had never seen anything like this. But yes, it does get in your head. And when we scored that goal and they waved it off, I mean, he came over to the bench and I didn't hear him say that he waved the goal off. I heard him say, you guys need to get new pegs or we've got to fix this. That was how. So all of a sudden they're lining up for face-off, and I'm going, wait a minute, you didn't even tell me you waved the goal off. And and a couple of my guys were like, no, he did say something about it, so I must have not heard him on my standpoint. But I'm like, you let this go the entire game and didn't address it. So.
And for those that aren't maybe as familiar with hockey, I mean, the net has a couple pegs that hold the net down. And when that gets dislodged, it's supposed to be a stoppage in play.
Correct.
And they weren't stopping it. I mean,
no, they were stopping the plays, but they wouldn't address the fact that the kid was sliding across and kicking the net off.
Doing it intentionally.
Yes, and every time there was pressure, somehow magically the net was dislodged.
Well, and every once in a while, I mean, you see that in other levels, but you would see it maybe once every other game. I mean, it's a dirty trick that goalies play.
Yeah, and it's usually addressed with. Hey, here's your warning. You do it again, it's a delay of game penalty.
Right, and that's usually. And
they did it. They did it on Saturday. He started it again on Saturday, and they stepped in and gave him the delay of game penalty on Saturday. But then he did it 4 or 5 more times after the delay of game, and he didn't give him another penalty. So the kid's sitting here thinking, I mean, if you're a kid and you're getting away with it, you're going to keep doing it.
Now, as a coach, I mean, how do you handle? I mean, you can't really be too forward with the officiating crew because you don't want to get a penalty yourself. I mean, how do you address something like that as a coach?
I was pretty livid about it both games, and I was very vocal about it. And even our fans on Friday night, our fans were going crazy. I mean, every time it happened, everybody could see what was playing out, and that's what was really frustrating about it. But from our standpoint, it's like I told the guys. I said, you guys just got to keep playing. I mean, we can't control what the officials do. That's an element of the game that myself, Coach Adamek, and the players have no control over. So it doesn't do any good for the players to be frustrated about it or vocal about it because they can't change that.
Right.
Myself and Coach, we can talk to them about it and voice our concerns and our opinions, but at the end of the day, the guys got to just go out and play. And I think, they did get a little distracted by it early on in the first period on Friday because it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But then once we calmed them down and they were fine. I mean, they just kind of laughed about it from that point on. But I will say this much. Our guys did a much better job on Saturday getting to the net, bumping him, getting in his face, making it harder for him to see the puck. And obviously, we had 60 some odd shots and we scored 3 goals. So, I mean, the kid still had a heck of a game. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from him as a goaltender because he's tremendous, but if the kid played for me, we would have been having a closed-door meeting after the game on Saturday saying, one thing you're not is bigger than the game. And,
yeah.
And I don't, if goalies are going to do what they're going to do to get the competitive advantage and the officials control it, that's one thing. But the showboating stuff and the disrespect to our guys after the game and things of that nature were, in my opinion, something that needed to be addressed.
Yeah, and like I played a little bit of goal, back, but I've never heard of that. I mean,
it was crazy.
I will admit
it was crazy.
I will admit I've kicked the net a couple times, but not that many. Yeah. Not especially not in one game. Yeah. Jeez.
So you guys got 60 shots on goal on Saturday, and they only got 22, and your goaltender obviously stopped all 22.
Yep. Michael Kitts, he actually had his first start of the year. The kid's kind of had a hard luck season. He came out, he was an early signing with us over the summer, and we were excited to have him. He had played out on the East Coast last year, out in Long Island, and he had a problem with his foot, and he had some mop-up surgery done over the summer, but when he came out here, it had gotten infected with staph, and it was a mess. And so they had to, our guys here, Randy Height and his staff had to go in and clean him up and get him back on track. And where the incision was on his foot, it just, what Randy has told me, I don't know the details, but limited blood flow that it just took forever for this thing to heal up and the stitches to heal up. And, So the kid's really been, it took him 2.5 months to get on the ice. He was here in August and didn't really start practicing until, early November, full tilt. And, 2 weeks ago, he was supposed to get his first start against Bozeman on 2 Saturdays ago. And we come in for stretch that morning, and the poor kid's got the flu bug, and he's throwing up and this and that. So it's like, he just had one thing after another. So the opportunity finally came up, and he played extremely well. He's a very, very calm and laid back, and just a mild-mannered kid. I mean, not your typical goalie. He doesn't have a lot of quirks or anything like that. And I actually kind of tease him. I always go up and give him the old pulse check on his neck to make sure he's breathing, because that's how calm he is. And he went in and played very well, and his rebound control was outstanding. And so we were excited. It was a great first game for him to come in and get some confidence.
When you guys are able to outshoot the other team by, whatever it was,
3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. I think you talked about last week too. You guys had a period where you barraged the goaltender. You didn't get any points out of it, but you also outshot the other team. What are you guys doing to make that happen?
Well, I think it's just simplifying things. I think it's not trying to get too fancy and beat guys one-on-one. It's hard center lane drives and hard traffic in front of the net, and just putting pucks to the net. I mean, it's this is a pretty hard working group. We lack some of the dynamic goal scoring players that we've had in the past, guys that are natural goal scorers. So we've got some guys that really work hard and they plug away, and if they don't score on the first shot, they're going hard to the net to bury a rebound. And that's kind of how we've had our success and how we've scored our goals. So obviously, we want them to use their skill and create, but you're not going to score if you don't put pucks to the net. So that's kind of been a focus.
It's sort of just playing the numbers game. I mean, you put 60 on net, a few are going to go in sooner or later.
Well, you put 85 on net, you should get more than 3.
Well, I mean, if somebody's putting 85 on me, I'd probably give up 30. So
yeah. You guys are home this weekend against Great Falls. It looks like they have a pretty impressive record. They're 18-4.
Yeah, they're a solid team. They've been playing incredibly well, and they're kind of like the team we had last year, where we had so many guys come back from the year before. They've got quite a few guys back that have been with them for last year and this season. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Again, they've got very, very strong goaltending, and they've got some dynamic kids up front. So, we went on the road and played up there early in the season, and they took both games from us. And one game we played pretty well, just couldn't score. And then the second game, I thought they kind of probably one of our bitter losses of the year, because I didn't feel we had competed and played as well as we're capable of. So we're obviously anxious to get another crack at these guys, and we're a little bit different team. Andre was not with us at the time when we played them, and Dalton McCann was out for the weekend, so we were missing some key guys that weekend as well. So we're excited to get another shot at these guys.
Okay, sounds good. You have a good Thanksgiving?
It's ugly Christmas sweater weekend too. We've got
nice.
We're doing Gillette Young Life is sponsoring ugly Christmas sweater jerseys. And I've seen these things. They're extremely cool, but they're ugly.
What all goes into this then?
It's going to be a fundraiser for Gillette Young Life. Again, like usual, we'll auction the jerseys off Saturday after the game. The guys will wear them Friday, Saturday night. Saturday night is teddy bear toss, which bring a teddy bear. You can buy them at the rink, and after we score our first goal, they get thrown on the ice, and those are all collected and donated to local charities as well to help kids out at Christmas time. So it's a pretty big weekend for us again.
Okay, very cool. You have a good Thanksgiving?
It was nice.
Load up on the green bean casserole?
Yeah. Oh, and I got to bring that in for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
We saved some. Yeah. I mean, this stuff is dynamic.
See, Chad's the only person I've ever met that hasn't had green bean casserole.
Well, this isn't your traditional stuff. This doesn't have like the
fried onions.
No.
Really?
This
I like
stuff
that,
is green beans. It's cheese. It's got a cornflake.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty awesome.
Very nice.
Wow. Yeah,
Very
that's nice.
What's that flashing light mean? Did I do something wrong?
We're getting a call.
No, we don't normally get calls during this hour, but we'll give it a shot. News Talk 1270, you're on the air.
This is Everett Boss with Bricks for Vets, and I just wanted to, I heard you're talking to the Gillette Wild hockey team.
Yeah, Coach Winkler.
Yeah, they help. They've been helping us out the last 2 years for all our for the Bricks for Vets and Lasting Legacy Park. And they just had their fundraiser for the vets just a week or so back, and then they did it last year also, and they raised a lot, about $6,000 both years for us.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I didn't know if you talked about that or not.
Well, I was actually going to ask how last weekend's fundraiser went, but there you go, 6,000. Wow, nice.
Well, they don't have the exact number yet, but Misty told me it was right around there again, and I can't thank you guys enough for all of what you do for our vets here too.
Well, we got to get with you because we wanna present the check to you, Everett, and I know Misty was talking about maybe doing it before a game, but one of the things I thought was really cool last year was when we met with you guys out at the wall.
Oh, it brought us to tears. That was really cool. We were what he's talking about. We were dedicating the wall last year, and they had a game in Helen, I believe, and you're running a little late because of bad weather. But they got in between the two ceremonies, and it was really unique for all of us to see that the whole team was there at the wall, and they got to look at it. And it's just a real focus point for our community now. And we just can't thank you enough for that.
Well, it's you know what, it's great for our guys to see that. It's humbling for them, and it was pretty neat last year because I'm a big World War II buff, and one of the bus trips we watched Saving Private Ryan, and one of the kids came up to me after watching the movie, and he's like, was it really like this? I mean, this generation of kid has absolutely no understanding of what a lot of these men went through, and men that were the same age as my players went through at that point in time. And I sat down with this kid. I'm like, yeah, I said it was brutal. I mean, what our troops have gone through and all the wars in the past, and even now what they're doing over in the places where they're at defending us now. I said it's, and the kid kind of looked at me and he's like, I just never, and he's a good kid. He's a very respectful kid, but he's just like, I never really thought about it. So I think that's when it kind of punched me right between the eyes. It's like, our guys need to realize what this is about. It's not just about a fancy jersey. It's about taking care of people that have protected us and taken care of us and the sacrifices they make. I mean, Everett and all of his guys and my family, my entire family was military. My dad was Army, my brothers are Navy, my sister's still active in the Air Force. So, we haven't had a Christmas together as a family in 25 years because of their commitments and their duties, but they don't think twice about it. They just go out and do it. So I think anytime we can help these kids and show them what it's all about, and then obviously help these people that have done so much for us, I think it's so important. Important.
And the money we're getting from you guys, we're actually lowered the brick prices, and we're put that money aside for people that can't afford a brick. Or we're also going through the hospice house, so if we have a veteran that's leaving us, we'll contact the family and get a brick for them. It's pretty humbling what you guys have done to help out our veterans locally. And, of course, that wall, that the bricks around the Statues United We Stand are from anywhere. You can buy a brick for any family member from anywhere, and there's multiple bricks so you can honor your family, like you said. You can honor your son, your mother, your husband, whoever, your father, your grandfather. It's kind of neat because there's multiple bricks where they put multiple names. I did it with my son. And in fact, I saw him in Thanksgiving, and he said the best thing I ever did was make him go to the Army or into the Marines. And he said that made him grow up, and that's what it is. A bunch of our young adults are growing. That's their growing up stage into manhood or into being a woman. The military is just a really good way for the kids to grow up and learn what responsibility is.
Absolutely. Well, I think you just gave me an idea for a Christmas present for my family.
Oh, there you go. Hey, they always have bricks available.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's exactly right. We still have about 6 panels to fill up, but if anybody gets over there, it's really unique because it's from all over and honoring family members from everywhere. In all services and branches, so it's really cool.
Hey, Everett, if anybody is interested in getting a brick, let them know how they can do that.
You can get a hold of me down here at Bighorn Hydraulics, and I have them here, and I help them fill them out. And then we will get Donnell and Don Nichols will build the bricks out of the granite, and they're really, if you get a chance, go over and look at them. They're laser etched in, and they have the military symbol, whatever, as Marines, Army, Navy. And it's a really nice brick, and it's about $100 for a single brick, which is a 4x8 inches, and then an 8x8 brick is $200. And it is a great Christmas gift. That's a great idea because a lot of people have done that. And then, they whenever your family visits or the locals, they can come and look at that. And it's a really we really poured a lot of new concrete in there, did some more landscaping, fixed the sidewalks, and fixed the wall. It was collapsing. When that wall was put in, it didn't have the rebar put in. So we went back, and Matt Walker with PCS, or with Powder River Construction, he did that. Plus also Mickey Schober, he does the bricks and puts them up for us. So there's a lot of local contractors that have helped us on this.
And it's awesome.
It is awesome. Yeah, it's a really neat project, and it's going on. We're going to put a reader board up. The money that you guys are giving us this year will go into the reader board, so when you enter the park, it'll have a little history and give you what all this is all about. So
that's great.
Yeah, it is great, and I appreciate that. And we will, as soon as Missy gets back to me, and I think you're going to be in town for a couple of weeks, I believe.
Well, we're here this weekend, and then pretty much not back until after the first of the year.
Yeah. So when you get back, we'll probably just I'll get a bunch of the guys from the Bricks for Vets, and we'll just meet you at the ice there and we'll give you guys a plaque, and you guys can give us the money. Last year it was really fun because they came with a sack of money. It wasn't a big check or anything. It was actually a sack of money. It was pretty cool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Everett. And if anybody's interested in purchasing a brick, just go down to Bighorn Hydraulic and talk to Everett. So let's preview what's coming up for you guys then.
As far as our games this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend.
It's we've got 2 against Great Falls, 7:05 face-off both nights, Friday, Saturday, Spirit Hall. Gillette Young Life will be featured. Then we'll have the Getting the Christmas spirit with the ugly Christmas jerseys, and we'll auction them off again on Saturday, and there will be a skate with the players for sure Saturday night after the game. And then that's our last home game prior to Christmas break. We have the showcase the following week, and then the guys get about a 7 to 10 day break somewhere in there, and then get back at it.
Okay, sounds good. I guess we'll see you next weekend then.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Next Tuesday, not next weekend. I don't want to be here on the weekend.
What are you talking about with the BCS?
Well, we were going to talk about whether Ohio State deserved to be in the championship game. What do you think? If they're able to beat Michigan State, what do you think? Undefeated?
Absolutely.
Over a team from the SEC with one loss?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Hey.
Absolutely. Hey, and I think the SEC is still, I mean, it's an unbelievable conference.
What if that SEC team is Missouri?
I was going to ask, did they move up at all?
They're number 5.
Fifth.
They're still 5, so they stay
behind Alabama.
If
they're 11-1.
If they win the SEC championship game, they'll jump past Auburn. It'll be Florida State, Ohio State, Missouri.
They'll have beaten Auburn.
That's amazing.
So even if Missouri,
and that's their second year. I'm going to pump this through here. It's their second year in the SEC, and they were kind of
bad
meddling along. Their first year they struggled. Yeah. So. That's quite a turnaround.
And I think it might say something about the level of competition in the SEC. It might not be as good as everybody thinks.
Either that, or you better raise your game, or you're going to get you're going to get destroyed.
Or that. So I wish we had more time, but when we come back, we'll talk a little Pronghorn basketball.
All right.
We'll just skip an entire break. So thanks a lot, Coach Winkler.
Guys.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks.
News Talk 1270 KIML.
An hour without politics? Yes.
It's about time.
Tuesday morning quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML.
Berman lays out his plan. I'm Reese Monaco. This is the Cowboys State News Network. Sports brought to you by Drive Safe Wyoming. University of Wyoming Athletics Director Tom Berman is now beginning the process of finding a new head coach after firing head coach Dave Christensen from the Cowboy football program after 5 seasons. Berman says that a financial package for a new coach could be anywhere between Christensen's initial contract 5 years ago and the extension that was given just 2 years ago. And Berman says there are many qualities he'd like in a new coach, but head coaching experience is something he's looking at.
In an ideal world, all things being equal, I would prefer to hire a proven head coach than someone who hasn't been a head coach. But it's not a deal breaker.
And Berman says there needs to be a culture change within the Cowboy football program. He needs a head coach that'll bring toughness and physical play back to the Cowboys. And Berman says at this time a search firm will not be used to find a coach, but he says that may change as the process goes on.
Before heading out on the highway this winter, WYDOT recommends you stock your vehicle with extra equipment and supplies. Carry a first aid kit, blankets, dehydrated foods, and water. Also, a good idea are tire chains, shovel, bag of sand, flashlight and flares, and booster cables. Carrying these basic items can make a big difference in case you become stuck or stranded. And don't forget, when there's ice and snow, take it slow. This message paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funding.
Simon, the safety elf would like to make a special announcement. Listen up, elves. I know this is a busy time of year. We all have a lot going on, but please don't text and drive. Last week, Sheldon and Shipping crashed into a load of Legos, and just yesterday, Randy and Wrapping ran through a red light. He never even saw it. Slow down, buckle up, and put your phone down.
Ho, ho, ho! The road is no place for distractions. DriveSafeWyoming.com.
Larry Nance Jr. led 5 Wyoming Cowboys in double figures as the Pokes struggled a bit but did beat Black Hills State 79-65 at the Arena Auditorium last night. Nash finished the game with 16 points. The Wyoming starters dished out 15 of the team's 17 assists in the game, led by sophomore Josh Adams at 6. He also finished with 15 points. He says he doesn't come into a game thinking he's going to score a lot of points or pass the ball off. He says it's about letting it come to him.
Just go into the game and do whatever I can to help the team. And, I got Riley who's shooting 60-some% from the field. I got Sobes hitting shots. I got a big man inside that I can feed. And, that's working for me. I give credit to them. And then eventually they're going to have to help off. And that's when I take my chances and go to the hole. So just do whatever is open, whatever can help the team. Nothing specific, just taking what's there.
The Cowboys now 6-2 on the season. They'll play South Dakota Saturday in Rapid City. I'm Reese Monaco. This is the Cowboys State News Network.
What's happening in Campbell County, presented by First National Bank, Campbell County's only hometown bank, downtown in RC Ranch and on South Douglas Highway.
This week, it's all about Santa. Start with professional photos with Santa at First National Bank's downtown branch, December 5th from 2:30 to 4:30. Join Gillette College in celebrating the holiday season at the tree lighting ceremony, Thursday, December 5th at the Gillette College Tech Center. Cookies with Santa at 4, sing along with the Energy City Voices at 5, and at 6 p.m., experience the annual tree lighting ceremony. Saturday, December 7th, 2 different parades will stroll down Gillette Avenue at different times. The Abate Toy Parade is at 2, and the annual Parade of Lights will take place at 5 p.m. Take part in the free Jingle Bell Hike to Santa, Sunday, December 8th at Camplex Park. Families are led on a hike by elves to the WPA building to visit Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Hi, this is Greg Blickery with First National Bank, Campbell County's only hometown bank. Well, this fall has certainly had a lot of winter in it. Is this the year you get that new snowmobile or four-wheeler for some winter fun and snow removal? Our lenders at First National Bank can help you fund that new off or on-road vehicle. Member FDIC and equal housing lender at First National Bank. Your success is our goal.
Now, from the News Talk 1270 KIML Weather Center.
For your Tuesday, snow will continue another 1 to 3 inches possible. Temperatures falling to around 7 degrees by 5 p.m. For tonight, more snow likely, another inch possible. Low around -2, wind chills of 20 below. And for your Wednesday, snow likely, cloudy with a high near 3 degrees. That's your weather update here on News Talk 1270 KIML.
Welcome back to the Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML. The Lady Pronghorns from Gillette College went 1-1 over the weekend. They were in Utah, and Coach Will Ryder spoke with our own Vic Wright yesterday.
Vic Wright being joined with head coach Will Ryder of the Gillette College Pronghorn Women's Basketball team. And Coach Ryder, first off, a long road trip for you and your squad over the Thanksgiving break. 3 games down in Utah. I played at Salt Lake and then a couple at Snow College's campus. Went 1 out of those 3 with wins. Tell me about how the whole week went for you.
Well, obviously we were a little bit disappointed. We won't come away with 3 victories, and we felt like we were capable of getting all 3. But you got to perform well on the road, and of course, playing teams in their home gyms They tend to play better and shoot better and try to bring their crowds back. So you're gonna have to play your best games to do that. And we put together a couple of pretty good halves, but we weren't able to put 40 minutes together in either the game against Salt Lake or the game against Snow. But on a positive, I guess you would say that the game against Eastern Utah on Friday night at Snow was really positive in that we had a number of school records broken, some great individual performances. So if there's any good to come from this weekend, it's the fact that some individuals stepped up in a big game and had some outstanding results as it was, and set some school records.
All right, now let's talk about the two losses first. The loss against Salt Lake City. It was a good, hard-fought game. Salt Lake City they're one of those teams that they play better at home. Tell me about that one game.
Well, and they did. They played very well, and I thought defensively, we did an outstanding job in the first half, limiting their best shooters. They have two perimeter players, Parsons and I can't think of the little 22, the other little gal. They shoot really well from the perimeter. I thought we did a great job of matching up with them and getting to them quickly in the first half, and I thought we limited the number of touches they were able to get in open positions, and. Of course, we had a 1-point lead at halftime. Then going into the second half, the first 5 or 6 minutes of the second half, we were able to do the same thing. And then just a few breakdowns here and there, a few missed assignments, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 they hit a couple of 2 or 3 shots in a row, and they get on a roll. And in the first half, they were like 1 for 7 from 3-point range. In the second half, they went 5 for 5 from 3-point range. So I felt like we kind of let that one get away from us. We got a little bit of foul trouble with our point guard. Of course, McCorford was on the sideline with an injury at the same time. So, we just didn't respond the way we should have. Same thing was true of our game against Snow College. We jumped out right from the beginning and hit a 3 right off the bat and played pretty well in the first couple of minutes, and then just had some defensive lapses and where they were able to take advantage of some things that we just didn't step up and defend, and as a result, we ended up getting 2 losses on the road, which I think is probably a good humbling experience for us. Obviously, before we go into the Region 9 competition, part of the reason for playing on the road is to get used to that good competition on the road, and our kids have to know what it takes to step up and play well in a foreign environment like that. So hopefully that will prepare us well for the upcoming region now.
All right, well, the one win you did get, you said lots of records being broken, and I believe Felicia Carline had something like 37 points in that contest.
Yeah, we scored 61 points in the first half of that game, which is also a school record for points scored in a half. Felicia had 37. In that same game, Bridget Cargill went 8 for 10 from 3-point range and beat Nikki Tresch's record of 7 3-pointers in a single game. She hit 8 and 8 for 10 at 80% from 3-point range. That's a pretty nice outing. And then Keila Garner had 17 assists in that game, which set a new school record as well.
You were talking about Keila Garner, how she kept on improving. I believe the last home game, I want to say she had something like 10 rebounds or 10 assists, and it seems like Keila Garner is really coming into her own, trying to lead the team with the help of the other sophomores as well.
Yeah, and she's going to continue to get better and better and better. As she's kind of banged up a little bit right now. She's got a foot that's bothering a little bit, and a knee that's been bothering her. So she's not been able to play without pain. She's still performing well, but we're hoping we can figure out a way to get her healed and get her happy and get her back to a good state of being with her body right now. Because right now she's playing with a lot of pain, and when we can find a way to get around that and get her back to normal again, then I think she's going to even make a bigger impact.
All right, and you were talking about Makora Ford still on the bench. Is she going to be ready to go against Northwest College?
She's released today to begin practice, so I don't know what kind of condition she's going to be in, but nonetheless, we'll be able to run her in and run her out and give her some moments on the court regardless. So that'll be a positive thing for us, because we haven't had her the last few weeks. So we're looking forward to getting her back in lineup and getting her back in shape and getting her going. Her energy and her intensity is second to none. So she brings a whole nother level of energy and a whole nother level of intensity to our defense and our play on floor. So that's going to be a welcome renewal.
All right, you guys are starting your Region 9 half of this season. You're going to start it on the road. They're in Powell, Wyoming, playing tomorrow, Wednesday. and you're taking on Northwest College. What do you know about Northwest College this season?
They're a very talented team, obviously. They've got a lot of good players coming back off of last year's team. They've got some really good freshmen coming in. I think right now they're 5-5, but they probably played the most challenging schedule of anybody in our region this year. They went to a tournament in Texas. They went to a tournament in Idaho. And they played some really top-notch programs and played them tough. So, they've got some losses on the road, but at the same time, I think, as you know, my philosophy is I think you can learn a lot more from a loss, on the road against good competition than by, just staying at home and blowing out JV programs and teams that are, not going to give you a challenge at all. So they're going to be ready. They're 5-0 at home right now. And it's going to be a good matchup. They don't have quite the size that we do, but they've definitely got the quickness and the shooting ability back from a year ago. And I think there's going to be a little revenge factor. We got them in the semifinals of the Region 9 tournament last year, beat them in overtime to get to the regional tournament championship. And I think that fits with a couple of their sophomores right now that, they've got some paybacks to give. And so I think it's going to take our best effort to beat them on their home floor on Wednesday.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you against Northwest. And, of course, we'll have the games for you right here on 93.3 The Legend when you guys take on your arch rival Sheridan on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. It always is. We're battling for the Golden Globes. The men's and the women's programs both have a Golden basketball that we trade back and forth between programs as part of the President's Trophy that we pass along. It's a traveling trophy, and then of course just bragging rights and the fact that you want to be able to defend home court for tournament time down the road. The winner of the North Region this year actually hosts the Region 9 tournament. So, we've got to be able to defend our home court and try to get a few wins on the road. And we'd love to start that off with a 2-0 start this week.
Oh, and speaking of the home game against Sheridan, it's a blue out night, correct? Fans wear blue?
It is. It is. That's what I understand it to be. So all of our Pronghorn fans can bring their blue. It's going to be 5:30 and 7:30 on Saturday, and it's usually a packed house and a standing room only. But that's the way we love it, and they're usually really, really good games. I know the men are having a great season. The women are putting together a really nice season. So I think together it's going to be some good basketball for the evening.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you against Northwest.
Appreciate it, Vic. Thanks so much.
That's Lady Pronghorn head coach Will Ryder speaking with Basin Radio Network's Vic Wright yesterday. This is the Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML.
One of them's a sports expert, and the other guy just pushes all the buttons there. Tuesday Morning Quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML.
Tire-Rama will get you there. It's a simple fact of winter driving. See better, drive safer. Visit your neighborhood Tire-Rama for instant savings on the Napa Auto Care Special. Buy one Napa wiper blade or Napa headlight and get the second one free. Not a mail-in rebate. This is instant savings on products to help you see better and drive safer. Buy one Napa wiper blade or Napa headlamp, get the second one free. Only at Tire-Rama. More than just a tire store.
Get real. Real Living Magazine, that is. The latest issue of Real Living Magazine is on racks now. You'll find articles pertinent to the holiday season, tips for hosting a stress-free holiday, and clever ways to give gift cards. Read about the history of Gillette in an excerpt from Mary Kelly's book, Images of America Gillette, and learn about Deadwood's Crown Jewel. Exercise your brain with a game of Sudoku. Find your new home or contact one of the many realtors in Real Living Magazine for their help. Shop all the great businesses in Real Living Magazine on racks now. And pick up the latest Anybody's Auto, available from the Black Hills to the Bighorns.
Here's another satisfied Honda of Casper customer.
And Honda of Casper really made me feel like we were meeting in the middle, where they were getting a profit they needed and I was getting a good deal, and both sides were respected, and I really appreciated that.
Aren't you a little old to sit on Santa's lap?
You're never too old to wish.
What's your wish?
Smartphone with unlimited data.
Oh, not happening.
Santa, Union Wireless has unlimited high-speed data for just $75.
$75? Let's go to Union.
Let's go.
Get your wish with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data, only $75. And get the Samsung Galaxy S4 for $99, only from Union Wireless. For stores and agents, call 888-926-CARE or visit unionwireless.com. Some restrictions apply. Now give Big Wireless the boot and get paid to switch up to $200 per line with contract buyout from Union Wireless. Enjoy reliable service and high-speed data in the places you live, work, and play. Change is good, so get paid to switch to Union Wireless, treating you like a neighbor, not a number. For stores and agents, call 888-926-CARE or visit unionwireless.com. Some restrictions apply.
Up next, the top 5 at 9:45. Tuesday morning quarterbacks on News Talk 1270 KIML.
President Obama promised.
If you've got health insurance, you can keep it.
The facts? Obamacare is canceling thousands of Wyoming families' health plans. Senator Mike Enzi was first to warn America.
The reality of this new regulation is that if you like what you have, you can't keep it.
Mike Enzi's fighting to protect our health care plans. He was right then. He's right now. Mike Enzi, trusted, conservative, Wyoming's Own. Paid for by Wyoming's Own, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. WyomingsOwn.com.
Now, from the News Talk 1270 KIML Weather Center.
For your Tuesday, snow will continue. Another 1 to 3 inches possible. Temperatures falling to around 7 degrees by 5 p.m. For tonight, more snow likely, another inch possible. Low around -2, wind chills of 20 below. And for your Wednesday, snow likely, cloudy with a high near 3 degrees. That's your weather update here on News Talk 1270 KIML.
Time now for your weekly NFL Power Rankings.
It's unbelievable! Where is Tanya Harding when you need her?
Oh, it's a scene, man.
We're at a party like it's 1955.
Do you ever just get down on your knees and thank God that you know me and have access to my dimension?
It's the top 5 at 9:45.
Trailer Park Tuesday!
And welcome back. And we don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to let everybody know YDOT would like to announce that the meeting scheduled for today in Gillette has been canceled due to the weather. A new date will be scheduled at a later time. So we'll get that info to you as soon as we find it out. So I guess let's see. I guess we'll start with Chad this week, right?
All right, yeah. Okay, my number 5 team suffered their 3rd loss in a row this past weekend at the hands of the Broncos, but they hung in there, and they gave the Broncos a good battle, although they were down by 14 and had to score a touchdown. They gave the Broncos a good battle, and they, I feel, deserve a spot in the top 5, and they come in at number 5 with a record of 9-3, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about the Chiefs is they lost their defense, but all of a sudden they found an offense.
Yeah.
And I don't have them at number 5, but they are on my list.
The Broncos could not get any pressure on Alex Smith either.
Yeah, there are some troubling things about the Broncos. I don't know if they'll be able to hold it together, but they did move up, and they moved up because of my number 5 team, which is
number 5. Shotgun snap to Breeze. Steps up in the pocket. Looks. He's hit the ball. Comes down and picked off by the Seahawks. Coming near side 20. 15. Michael Bennett 5. Touchdown Seahawks.
We had opportunities. We felt like we had some opportunities there late in the second quarter. We got the score, and we just didn't do enough offensively. We certainly didn't do enough. Converting 3rd downs and staying on the field. Defensively, we had trouble stopping them in that first half.
That Saints coach Sean Payton.
Yeah, the Saints, I wanted to put them higher, but they just got stomped. And now they did get stomped by a team that's on a roll, but I just couldn't I couldn't put them higher than number 5. I think they'll be all right. I don't think they're going to go far into the playoffs, but I think they'll be all right. They'll make the playoffs and maybe win a game. But
big game on Sunday night between the Saints and Panthers, who happen to be my number 4 team.
Yeah, well, okay, the Panthers are your number 4 team. So now they've won 8 in a row. Why do you have them at number 4?
I just feel like a team that's got, what are they, 9-3?
They're 9-3, yeah.
And they haven't had that many big wins.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, they have had an easier schedule. I mean, their schedule does get harder from here. I mean, the Saints are going to be a tough one. And, but then again, I thought the Saints would be up for last night's game, and they just weren't. My number 4 team, however, is
number 4.
1st and goal. Give it to Charles. Charles leaps up
and over, and a touchdown.
That was some drive by the Chiefs. A lot of toughness involved there. A lot of grit. Don't see this as much as you used to, do you, Jim? But what a job jumping and going over the pile. If he doesn't do it, he's not going to make it.
I mentioned to the team that this isn't college football. This isn't the end of the season. So it's not the national championship game that you're playing. It's two good football teams playing each other. We came up short. Now it's important that we get ourselves back.
I just like putting the Chiefs in my top 5 so I can hear Andy Reid clips.
Why do you like Andy Reid clips?
Just because he always sounds like he sounded healthier this week. I mean, he wasn't out of breath. I don't know if he got a little bit of rest after he sat down at the podium or
I watched him say that. He was smiling.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs, they're an enigma. They couldn't score points, but they had a good defense. The defense, they lose a couple key players. All of a sudden now they can score points. I don't know what to think of them. I mean, they did give the Broncos a run for their money.
To some degree, yeah.
Yeah, to some degree. I mean, I don't know if they'll be in the top 5.
They were up by 14, and then they fell down by 14, and then they cut it to 7.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of heart. They're obviously well coached, and Alex Smith is the kind of quarterback that you can at least depend on to be consistent, if not spectacular, which, that's pretty much all you can ask for these days.
He's athletic, I'll say that for him.
Well, Alex Smith can run.
He can.
And, he hasn't had to run a whole lot in his career, so his legs are still good.
The Broncos are my number 3 team. They are 10-2. They get their coach, John Fox, back. When John Fox was out, they played 3 games on the road, and they won. Oh, they played 3 out of 4 on the road, and they won 3 out of 4. They did lose 1 to the Patriots, but that was in windy, cold conditions on the road in New England where they never win, so I'm going to give them a pass on that one.
Yeah, well, I'll just play my number 3 team, and then we'll talk about it.
Now, here's where it gets tricky. Number 3.
Chiefs stack the line of scrimmage. Single coverage on DT wide left and Decker wide right. We'll see if Manning goes there. He does. Fade route. Decker. Right corner of the end zone. Decker's got it. Denver touchdown. Marcus Cooper beaten again on the play. You could see it from here. And Manning and Decker for the 4th time today.
Big win because it was a division game. And played them 2 weeks ago. Close game, tough game. And knew coming here it would be tough as well. They're coming off a disappointing loss last week. We knew we'd get their best shot. They came out hot and made some plays early, had the kickoff return, and we did a good job of just kind of persevering and handling that and making some adjustments.
Yeah, Eric Decker scored 4 touchdowns in the last game, most of which came against that rookie cornerback Cooper, who I understand gave up 276 yards passing.
Jeez.
That's just terrible defensive coordination.
See, how did the Chiefs fall to that? I mean, they were playing lights out defense.
You would think
for the first
defensive
half.
Coordinator or the coaching staff would have realized that this kid is getting burnt every time at some point before he reached 276 yards and 4 touchdowns given up by Eric Decker.
Yeah.
And that big pass to Demaryius Thomas that went for like 75 yards, Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely didn't have a good game. And I have the Broncos at number 3. I was going to put them lower, but the Saints decided they were going to take the number 5 spot.
You were going to put the Broncos below the Saints?
I had the Broncos at number 4.
That's just
and the Chiefs at number 5. But since the Saints decided to get creamed last night, I figured the Saints earned their number 5 spot. The Broncos moved up a spot.
My number 2 team is the Patriots, who have already beaten the Broncos. They are 9-3. Denver's 10-2. It's only a matter of time before Denver retakes the lead over the Patriots.
Here's the thing about the Patriots. They almost lost to the worst team in the league.
Yeah, things happen.
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't lose.
Chiefs and the Saints both just lost.
They didn't lose. And the Patriots do have a knack for coming back. I mean, what is it, 2 weeks in a row now they came back from huge deficits?
When the Patriots are in the AFC Championship game, we'll forget all about this little near loss to the Texans.
Well, but they'd have to be playing the Ravens, so it wouldn't be a good situation for the Patriots. I mean, after what happened last year.
if the Patriots made it to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
They could play the Broncos.
Well, yeah.
They'll be the number 2 seed.
See, let's see. The way it's working out right now, they'd be the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
So they would be, they get a bye. So assuming the Ravens make it past.
So both the Broncos and Patriots would get byes. And then if each team wins their one playoff game before the AFC Championship, then they face each other.
So the Ravens would have to play the Chiefs in the first week.
The Ravens would, yeah.
Right now, it'd be the Ravens and the Chiefs. Well, I still don't have faith in the Ravens. I think they're starting to turn things around, and they're going to get their tight end back. So
I have the Patriots at number 2. Who do you have?
I have.
Thanks a lot. Number 2.
Hardineer. It's Cam Newton. Leaps. Ball loose. Picked up by Tampa Bay, but one official has already signaled touchdown.
Yes, he did.
Newton came across, dove, penetrated the plane, then lost the football. That could have gone.
And you know what? I'm going to cut the clip short.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the Carolina Panthers. They're on a roll, and I know it's a little bit of a controversial pick to put them above the Broncos or the Chiefs, but Cam Newton is playing MVP level right now. I still think Peyton Manning will win it because he's Peyton Manning, but Cam Newton is really the only real threat right now.
Yeah, he's playing well. I think we both have the same team at number 1.
Yeah, there's only one pick for number 1. So I'll just play the clip and we'll talk about it for a few seconds.
And the number 1 third and goal at the 2. 3 receivers near side. Russell out of shotgun throws it in the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks!
Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks. It was only a matter of time before they took the number 1 spot, and they proved it last night. They played a quality opponent, and they destroyed a quality opponent. I mean, the Saints have had their problems. I mean, they lost to the Jets, but you can't question what the Seahawks are doing right now.
Yeah, they're solidly locked in at number 1.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see what they do this coming week. And with that, we're out of time, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6:00. News Talk 1270 KIML. Stay tuned for Rush.
You're listening to KIML Gillette.
Neoprene braces are available at Home Medical Resources across from Rockpile Museum.